camcorder in today because I was sick and tired of recording with my phone since losing my other one. So I wanted to kind of kick this off and make a little vlog with my new camera. And this is something I was kind of thinking about today. So these vlogs kind of help me put my thoughts out there and get them out of my head. And I want to stand right now because all I do is sit down at the computer unless I'm training. So I do have some notes, just because if I don't, I tend to talk way too much. But I think the title of this video vlog, not going to be like straight to the point kind of video, kind of get you more just thinking abstractly. But I think the title will be something like, be careful who you follow. And this is kind of something that I've been thinking about the past few days, so I wanted to let you guys know on it. Just a kind of quick note, I am kind of leaning towards away from making YouTube videos unless it's like training related or something like that. More educational stuff I tend just to want to write about on my website now, just for the fact that I'm not the kind of person that wants to sit down and make videos like, you know, can you eat a Pop-Tart, or can you do cardio and not lose weight? You know, just really, really simplistic, like 60-second videos. Not that those aren't important, that's fine. Other channels do plenty of those, but I really want to give people a overall wellness, an overall outlook on fitness, as opposed to just like shooting these little kind of facts out there that don't really help people. You know, if you just give little people like, you know, eat oatmeal, like they don't really understand how to combine a whole life around it, if that makes sense. So I'm more the person who's wants to dig in depth with people, and not necessarily like give them the answers, but give them the information so they can form their own answers. So yeah, more of the informative stuff. Make sure you check out my website and my newsletter for more stuff like that. I just think it's a lot better approach for actually learning about like actually lifestyle changes, as opposed to just like, again, little bits of information. So get that out of the way. So again, this vlog is going to be about, be careful about who you follow. And the main point I wanted to make today was that I see a lot of, again, most of my population is kind of the younger generation, but I do see a lot of younger kids trying to implement the more, you know, successful, the NFL, the NBA, the elite powerlifters, whatever, their training programs, their nutrition protocols to themselves, and then they kind of get frustrated when they don't see results or something. So kind of the first important thing to note, and you probably have heard me say this before, or other people, is that a lot of people, and especially the elite of whatever the sport is, get there, not always the case, but a lot of them get there in spite of what they do, as opposed to because of what they do or did in the past. So what I mean by that is, not that I'm elite by any means, but just to give you a personal example, when I first started training, kind of like more of a bodybuilder, after taking like a year off from weights completely, I went from not really lifting, and then I did the kind of legs once a week thing, 15 to 20 reps on squats, 15 to 20 reps on leg press, and lying leg curl and lunges and all that stuff, just super, super high reps. And my legs got bigger. And a lot of people were like, oh man, Greg, your legs are getting big. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing these really high rep and getting the pump, and you're getting stronger. I don't know, I'm just getting a good pump, you know, that kind of attitude. And again, my legs did get bigger, and I got improvements. That's not to say that I got improvements, or I could have got the best improvements that I did. It's just that when your training status is 0, and you go from anything, you know, anything is more than 0. So I would have got muscle growth doing anything. I probably would have got a lot better results doing like a 3x5 or a 5x3 or something like that. So again, one could, if you look at it really reductively, you like a diet example, you know, so say this person is ripped. C, this person is ripped. A, he eats paleo. B, he is ripped. Therefore, eating paleo makes you ripped. Like, that's a really reductive way, simplistic way of thinking about it. When in all actuality, maybe the fact that he trains 8 hours a day, or maybe the fact that he has awesome genetics, or maybe the fact that he really doesn't eat as crappy as you think he does. You just kind of see the crap that he's eating. You don't see the other stuff, you know. All these other factors that kind of come into play of why this person is ripped. So you can't just reduce it down to a single factor. And this is more, the more elite you get with anything, this is more of the truth. So you look at like even professional athletes or elite level athletes at their craft, a lot of them would get there regardless of the way they trained, the way they ate. So to say that this person got to the Olympics and he runs 200s a week, you know, just something stupid, let's say like that. Therefore, if you want to get to the Olympics, you have to do that. No, because again, if you look at the sports, if you look at like the 100-meter dash final or something, or if you take like the top 5 countries, they may have 5 different approaches to that. So who's to say, that kind of goes to my point, you have 5 different approaches that all lead to the same level. Who's to say like which one is the best? You know, what you're probably finding out is that it doesn't matter. The things that are important are like hard work, consistency, and if you have the capability of doing it, you do those things, you'll probably reach there, whether you squat once a week or 3 times a week or whatever. So oftentimes looking at the genetic elite and the best people in the sports, while it probably seems counterintuitive, isn't the best thing to do when it comes to training nutrition. You want to take an objective look and be like, okay, is that really the best thing that they could be doing, or are they just kind of getting away with that? So again, the best way to approach things, again, kind of going off on my tangent here, first of all, understand what your goals are. So I mean, not just what your goals are as far as acutely, but also chronically. So if you're not trying to be the strongest man in the world, you probably shouldn't train like the strongest man in the world. If you're not trying to be Usain Bolt, you probably don't need to run as frequently as Usain Bolt. That's something that really needs to get hit home with people. Not to saying you can't run or you can't do these things that those people are doing, but the volume, the frequency that you do them at probably shouldn't be the same, because they wouldn't, you know, if they don't have a goal that you do, they wouldn't just arbitrarily do that stuff, if that makes sense. So you have to understand not only where you stand currently, because someone who's 20 and wants to be elite level powerlifter is not going to train the same way that someone who is currently an elite level powerlifter. So not only what your goals are, but at what stage of your development are you towards that goal is really important as well. So that kind of goes back to the point as far as programming wise, you want to, this is something that's hard for people to wrap their head around, but you want to make your program as least complicated as it needs to be. You know, the more simplistic your program can be while still making gains. And that's like, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to just do the most weird, wacky stuff right from the get-go? Well, a good analogy I heard from Chris Moore on one of his podcasts is, if you start your training off and you're like, say, I think the analogy he had was, wow, not a comic, wow, a magician, wow, I'm drawing a blank, a magician. So if you start your training out like a magician and you come in there and you pull the rabbit out of the hat and you do something crazy, or you saw a person in half, something like that, right from the get-go, you set a standard kind of really, really high. And then what do you do after that when you plateau? You just, you know, use your greatest thing up, if that makes sense. So if you're never training before and you're like, okay, I'm going to squat 4 times a week, maybe you progress for 3 or 6 months, but then once you plateau, what are you going to do? Squat 5 days a week, and then 6 days a week, and then 10 times a week? See what I'm saying? So for beginners out there, you want to make your programming as simple as possible. Start with, you know, 5 by 5 once a week. When that stops working, add something. When that stops working, add something. But until you stop progressing, don't make stuff more complicated than it needs to be. Just because you see someone who is succeeding doing a certain routine, maybe they're training 6 days a week and making good gains. Awesome, but if you can, I don't want to say get away with, but if you can make great gains off 3 or 4 times a week, there's no need to just arbitrarily do what someone else is doing because they're doing it and making gains. You need to be just aware of where, aware of where you are and what the progress you're actually making, as opposed to looking at other people. So again, that's kind of off on a tangent here, but okay, kind of to wrap up. So which trainer should you listen to? Should you lean on the side of application or more on the side of science? And again, overall theme here with a lot of my stuff is you should probably find somewhere in between. And these are the people that I tend to, I won't say look up to, but actually look to for training nutrition protocols. It's something I've actually tried to emulate myself. is not just look at the researchers who maybe just do the researchers, you know, like your doctor who doesn't lift. Or maybe not just do what the meathead at the gym is who can't even read, you know. Find someone who's kind of in between. You know, great examples of this could be like Brett Contreras, who trains people, who looks at the research, and he can actually lift. You know, other people like that who kind of encompass a lot of things, like Lane Norton would be a good example, who has his education, and he obviously lifts as well, and he coaches people. So people that do it in all facets of the game. They coach people, they train themselves, and they have education or research background. That's the people you really want to look up to, and personally, that's the approach you want to take yourself. You want to look at the research, you want to use it in practice, and if it is your profession, not all of us can control this, but if it is your profession, you want to use it on other people and see how that works. So whether it's like your coach you're looking for, or people you're just reading online, those are the people you want to look for the most, the people that do it in all aspects, because again, they're just having more of a well-rounded approach to the argument, as opposed to like, does a researcher studying something really know, you know, in practice, that makes, you know, a powerlifter who's training maybe like, you know, I don't need to look at the research, that doesn't make any sense. And the same thing, someone who is lifting, maybe doing it just really, really wrong, and a researcher can be like, I don't need to see him training, I know that doing 40 sets for chest just isn't the best thing to do. So getting advice from people who do it all around is really important. So not just the people who do it at the gym, not just the people who do the research, people that kind of do everything. I think that's about it, guys. So again, I'm hopefully I got some of my points across that I wanted to. I guess the main point I really wanted to hit home in this video was to not always, it's awesome to have to heroes or people to look up to and things like that, but don't always look to them for, this is what I should be doing because they're getting success doing that. If someone's training 6 days a week and they're making good gains, awesome, okay? But maybe you're not ready for 6 days a week. Maybe 6 days a week just isn't necessary for you right now. Talking about being simplistic. Again, those people who watch my videos and other videos are people who are beginners, you know. If you can't bench press 135 pounds, you probably don't need to be doing 6 days a week. You probably should just be doing something really simple, something that can get your progression, if that makes sense. So, same thing with nutrition. Try to get out of the reductive kind of thinking of, this person is a certain way, he does this, therefore that certain thing that he did got him that way. Try to think more complex. And again, the last thing I wanted to hit home from, not only who you shouldn't listen to, but who you should listen to are the people who are influential and educated in all aspects as far as doing it in practice, coaching people, and also are familiar with the research, because again, that's going to help you get the best results possible, having a well-rounded approach as opposed to just one of those three. So hopefully you guys like this little vlog. Again, for more more educational stuff, I will definitely be writing a lot more. Like I just posted a post about CrossFit a couple of days ago, because like I said, I think that I'll be more beneficial to people to actually learning things as opposed to just getting little like fun facts that you can get on Twitter or something like that. So if you guys liked the video, hopefully this wasn't too long, like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.